go with me on this. Right. Tell me what you'd prefer to play. Alright, watch this. One finger across 4 strings here. This finger here, this finger here, and this finger here, right? I can't even get to it. Right, that's the Lindsay Buckingham way of doing it, okay? Which is great, and it's brilliant. Oh! Or we could get rid of that bar that he was doing by fiddling with our tuning and do this. It's much more civilized. Now what I was playing there, I'm playing exactly the same notes as Lindsay Buckingham, exactly the same. But what I've done is, I've changed the tuning very slightly on the bass strings. Now, if you wanted to play it the same way Lindsay Buckingham does it, which is brilliant by the way, don't get me wrong, and there's many tutors out there that do great renditions of Lindsay Buckingham's version of it. I'll just grab you the guitar to explain this. Now, go with me on the explanation. Don't start moaning, saying, oh, he was talking at the beginning of it. Well, tough, because it has to be said, all right, otherwise you won't have a clue what's going on, all right? So just, go with me. This is what he does. He detunes his bass string to a D. It's called a drop D tuning. And then this finger, you'll notice throughout, if you watch the tutorials with Lindsay Buckingham, or even just watch this first bit with me. I just learned this today because I'm so used to doing it my other way. But you see, there's a lot of, it's restricted. That finger being there all the time is a real pain in the arse, So if we can get rid of that finger, it gives us a lot more freedom. And my version it does exactly that. So what I've done is I've detuned my 5th string, the A string, down to a G, and I've detuned my bass string down to a C. Okay, so this one's gone down to a G, and this one I've detuned down to a C. But you'll hear they're both same notes. The only difference is that our capo is now at the 6th fret instead of the 4th, but we can do all the nice fiddly bits now without getting cramp. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is now download my unique, and this is unique, you will not see this on the internet anywhere else, people are cottoning onto this. Somebody rang me up the other day, other tutors are now nicking my version, which I'm happy about because it's very complimentary. And they're teaching this version now, which is good. I've got no problem with that whatsoever, and I've no doubt you will do exactly the same. When you've downloaded it, you can quite, happily, and with my, with all my best wishes, you send it to whoever you want. I just want as many people to play it as possible. They subscribe to my little channel, and that's a bonus. There's the tuning at the top. Okay, there's your capo position. Now, for those new to the channel, there are a few. These are I've put and added 2 more frets. Normally it goes to 12, put 14. Capo at the 6th fret. Very important that we get it right. Actually, once you've learned this, if you couldn't sing it, you can just move the capo position up or down. If you've got a lower voice, just shove the cap, play exactly the same thing. It's not going to alter anything. Down here you've got your count. This is pretty important, okay, throughout the whole piece. These are your string numbers from 1 to 6. In this case we've got a 6. What does that say? 4 and 2. So anything in brackets you will play together. 6, 4 and 2 together, 5, 4 and 2 together. And this is telling you that something on those 2, for example, is going to happen. In this case it's a hammer on. Alright, that's the way it's going to go. Now, I've done a tutorial for this before, which is earlier on, I don't know, a few months ago, which I think a lot of you may have seen. But as people saying, oh, it's, the Lindsay Buckingham, never mind all that nonsense. You can always find another tutor if you want to do it that way. But I promise you, if you're new to the guitar, you won't even get halfway through it, you'll give up. With this version, and with my guidance and waffle, hopefully you'll stick it out. Right, let's move straight on. First bit, get the first shape right. Now, this is very important. Finger 1 will play string 3, always. Finger 2 will play string 2, always. And finger 3 will play string 1, always. Okay, in this track. If you try and fiddle around and, you know, mingle them around thinking, oh, that's easier, when you come to do something fast, it's like running down a hill, your legs will just fall from under and you'll just make a fool of yourself, basically. We don't want that. So, first shape, there and there. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail, you know what it is, but this is important. Right, 6, 4 and 2 is in a bracket, so I'm going to play them together. 5 is on its own, so I'm going to play that on its own. And then 4 and 2 is played again in a bracket, but it says hammer on, so I'm going to do this. So we'll have this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it tells us to keep on the same shape, but put our little finger there, and it's got 6, 3, 4 and 1, then a 2, then 5 and 3, then a 1, then 4 and 2, then a 3. Okay? Put the two bits together. Now if you notice the way the fingers are always come runs from the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's worth remembering that. Once you get into that technique. But as I say, we'll look at that in a bit more detail in a minute. But you know, worth thinking about. Second page. Oh, same shape again. This time it says 6, then 4 and 2 again. But this time it's got pull off over the 4 and 2. So you'll do that. And when I say pull off, I don't mean this. I mean pull it off. Okay, create the note. Then a 5, then a 3, open. And while you're sort of drinking your tea while those open notes are playing or waving to your mum or whatever, this hand should be, the other hand should be doing this. Going on to this, like the A7 shape, move to the 3rd fret. Best way of describing it. And you'll play 4 and 2. Play that slowly. 6, 4 and 2 with a pull off. 5, 3. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. I'll do it again. 6, 4 and 2. 5 and then a 3 and then 4 and 2 there. And then back to your first shape again. Okay, with the little finger on here. You don't have to put it on straight away. Just put it on when you play the 1. I'll put it on for now just to make it clear. 6 and 2 together. 3, 4 and 1, 2, 5 and 3, 1, 4 and 2, 3. I'm whistling through this because I know that you'll get bored if I don't. Watch this again. See, it's following that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 pattern again. As I say, it's all written clear as day down the bottom. You can't go wrong. And my other tutorial goes into a lot more in-depth detail. This is an overview. Okay, as to why I'm doing it this way and not like the Lindsay Buckingham version. Now, when you get to this bit, this is the bit that's going to determine whether you lot carry on or give up. All right. Now, at this point on the other versions, you'd say, "Forget it. I'm not doing that. This is a joke." You know, all this, even on here, it looks like a joke, doesn't it? And if you look, you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and there's something on every single beat. Right. The good news is on the left hand, because of the way I'm doing it. Instead of playing a horrible bloody chord like this with a big massive gap in the middle, all you've got to do is get 2 fingers and do that. So that's your left hand sorted out. So that's good. But then we've got to come and do all this stuff down here. How are we going to do it? How can we possibly remember all that nonsense? Well, watch this. Oh, it's important, this. I'm going to just mute the strings for a minute. Okay, now go with me. These fingers here, starting on your first string, are going to do this. I'll just give you the string numbers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. They're always going to run in that order. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see that? That's all they're going to do. But for how long? How long? So watch this. This is now we've got to change the count to the beats, not the finger numbers. We know what they're going to do now. We're going to count this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and And when you've counted that twice, you've done enough. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the second one falls on a different string to the first one because it's like a triplet. It's like 1 da 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 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So it makes it tricky, but it's not when you analyse it like this. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when you've said that twice, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's all done. All your finger work is done. Okay? What about the thumb? Well, the thumb's going to do this. The thumb's only going to play on the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, okay? And you're going to go from the 5th string to the 4th string. And watch this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I put the shape on now, and we'll start putting the bits together. I'll start with the thumb. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and fingers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you've got to try and melt the two things together in your brain. Right. 1 and count it as you're doing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in your mind think of it like this. Get those fingers running and the 1s and the 2s. So get these like this. Just get it working. And then count the thumb. You know, 1. Now don't forget your thumb starts with this first beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and thumb, 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 thumb. When you're watching telly, just get your guitar, block your strings. Just do that. Get used to it. That's what you've got to do. But that takes care then of all this stuff down here. You're done. Right? Then when you've got through that and everyone thinks you're great, you move on to the next section. Oh, back to the first shape again, that one. Nice easy one. 6 and 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to jump to that A70 looking shape again. It's actually a C. If we didn't have a capo on it, would be called C. Okay, so. But we're only going to play the second string. So 6 and 2, 3, 4. And you're going to jump to that second string. And then, when you've jumped to the second string, you're going to slide that up to the 5th fret from the capo. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5th fret from the capo. But when you get to the 5th fret, you don't actually strike any of these strings that you're on. You hit the 5th string, which is an open string, because the notes that these fingers are on are being created from the previous beat. Hear them get little hints of that. You're not striking the strings. Do it again. So when you've hit that 5th string there, you go back to this shape and then you do strike those two strings, 4 and 2 together. So I'll do it slowly. So you've got a 2 there and a 5 there. And then 4 and 2 here, and then we finish the first section, the verse, intro, whatever you want to call it, because the verse is the same as the introduction, by the way. If you don't see intro on my paperwork, because it's a verse just without singing in it. I'll just do that last section. Again, we're back to our first position, same shape with the little finger on. 6 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. So we've got this slowly. Cool. Right, so that's the verses and the intro and all that done. Now, The next part of the track is very like the Lindsey Buckingham arrangement, whereby we do need the bar. We can't get away with it. We put it at the 11th fret from the nut. Okay, I set the 11th on here because it's easier. We know where the 11th is because we know the 12th is there because we've got 2 dots. So bar there and little finger. Now you've got to use a guitar with a cutaway for some of these. That's what he does, you know. So get a guitar with a cutaway or use an electric. It works on that, you know. You'll never get it on a classical guitar. It's too tight. So what do we do here? We play. We've got a bar here and one little finger just across the 2 and the 1. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to start off with. This is the part. You know the part, don't you? Right, so what do we play? 6, 4, 2 and 1. Keep your bar and make like a little D7 shape here with these 3 fingers. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, it's written down. 5, 2 and 1, and then a 4. So back to the first of those 2 shapes again to play this. 6 and 1, 2, 4 and 3, 1, 5 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2. It's another one of these things. Okay, but and your bass is going 6, 4, 5, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Think of it like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So. It's the easiest way to remember it. And then back to the... Not today, thank you. Dear Rob, I think you're great. Wonderful lessons. You know, how can you be so... Shucks. Right, so where were we? This is the second half. 6, 4, 2 and 1. 5, 2 and 1 together, slight little difference. 3, 4, 3, sorry, I'll do that again. 6, 4, 2 and 1. That fucking phone call put me off. 6, 4, 2 and 1. 5, 2 and 1 together. 3, 4, 3. Now I'm playing that final 3 at the bar position so I can be moving to the back to the first shape again. So this is what we have. And then just repeat it. Sorry. Now I want to play an open second string at the end of that passage because it gives you an opportunity. Get rid of all these pages. Right, we're up to page 14. Gives you an opportunity to be playing a note whilst moving down to your final shape. Now, this is the bit we're going to play next. Okay. Now, what's the shape? Well, it resembles an A minor, but I want you to put this second finger on the 5th string. As I say, the paperwork will tell you exactly where to put your fingers and to tell you what strings to hit. So in this case, we're going to play a 5, then 3 and 2. Then our little finger will go to the 4th fret from the capo, and you'll play a 6, 2, 4. So we've got this. Okay. Back to the first shape again, but we only need those 2 fingers. We've got this one here still at the 5th string. This one here, and we're going to play 5 and 2, but there's a pull off on the 2nd string. It tells you that on your diagram. Then drop your little finger to the 1st string at the 3rd fret and play 4, 1, 5, and then play 4 and 2 open and hammer them back on to the 1st shape, and that's it. Should we try it? Middle section. etc. All right, folks. Now, I whizzled all my way. Whizzled, that's a good word. I have no idea what it means. But I whizzed all the way through that. Only because there's already a tutorial of mine earlier on. And this was just an overview to explain why I do it my way as opposed to do it the Lindsay Buckingham way. Which is brilliant, by the way. So I must stress that. But a lot of people want to play this and they just haven't yet got the skill to do it like Lindsay Buckingham. So if you play it my way, you don't need that much skill. You need some, but you don't need as much as Mr. Buckingham, all right? But the good news is you're going to be playing all the same notes, and if somebody was to close their eyes and you were to play it, they would have no idea that you were doing it slightly differently, all right? Trust me, it's a fact. If you listen, ultimately, don't take my word for it. Try both versions, okay? And then decide for yourself. But like anything else on my channel, you share as much stuff as you want, because I don't care. You know, I would think the more musicians going around, the better. So share it, enjoy it, get people to subscribe to the channel if they like playing guitar or ukulele or bass, or even if they just want to have a chat and a bit of fun. We're always here. Look after yourselves. Take care.